and you take the bones and the skin off. It almost looks like tuna fish, right? Look. So I just kind of take a fork and get the lumps out, you know, so they won't be so big. Like, see, like this one, you know, you kind of unlump it, I guess. Okay, so then I'm just going to add all the rest of the ingredients and stir it up. Here I have my egg whites. And again, if you watched any of my other videos, you know I only use the egg whites because the yolk of the egg is so high in cholesterol. So I just skipped that part. So then I'm just going to stir the eggs into my salmon. That looks good, right? It almost reminds me of tuna fish, you know. But I like the salmon a little better, I guess. Okay, so I'm just going to stir that up. Oh, then I'm going to season it. I should have, well, you can season it at any point. I'm going to season it with my everyday seasoning. Woohoo, love it, love it. This seasoning is delicious. It makes everything, I use it on everything every day. So I'm just going to season my salmon. And you have to season every layer so that once it comes together, each layer will have flavor. So put seasoning on that. And then I'm going to, these are my onions and peppers mixed together. So I'm just going to kind of just throw that in there. You can, I chop mine up really fine in my food processor, but you don't really have to. You can cut them up if you want to. But I just like mine to kind of melt into the salmon once they start to cook. And then I have my mayo. I'm just going to put just a little of that in there. Just a little, because I already have the egg, so I don't want too much of the mayo in there. And then I have my Wheaties. Instead of breadcrumbs, I use the Wheaties because the bread, I just don't want the bread. So here I'm going to stir all this together. I told you this recipe is so easy. I'm just going to stir all this together. And the mayo is what kind of binds it together. That's why you need a little of the mayo to hold your patties together, because you don't want them to fall apart as you're frying them. See how good that looks? Makes me want to just taste it, but because it has the raw eggs in it, I won't. But see how good that's looking already? And I use 2 cans of the salmon because I want to make quite a few, because I'm giving some away today. So I just want to make enough, because 1 can makes, let me guess, quite a few. You could, because the reason I say that, because you can make them as big as small as you like them to be. I'm going to add a little more mayo. Rinse my spoon off. Add a little more mayo. I don't think I had enough for 2 cans. There we go. So I'm going to stir this up, stir this together again. Isn't that looking good? I don't know, I guess, I don't know, I almost think you can do this with tuna, but I haven't tried it with the tuna. Tuna, what would you call them then? Tuna patties, right? Yeah, so if you've tried it with tuna, just let me know how they came out. I'm sure they probably taste about the same. So I'm going to continue to stir that up. I might add a little more of my seasoning, because I just want to make sure that my patties taste like I want them to taste. And any seasoning that you like, you can add to your patties. But usually when I use my everyday seasoning, I don't add any other seasonings. Usually, sometimes I'll add like garlic powder, onion powder, red pepper flakes. Matter of fact, I think I might add a few red pepper flakes to this. Yeah, I might add, that's a really good idea. I think I might add a few of the red pepper flakes. I think this is the first time I did this. It's not really in the recipe, but there you go. Give it a little kick with the red pepper flakes. Doesn't that look good? Look, can you see it? Can you see it? See how thick that is? And you have to have it this thick in order to make your patties stick together, like bind them together. So I'm going to make some of the patties and show you how I do it. See? I like the different colored peppers because it just makes it look pretty. I didn't use green this time, but I used the orange, red, and yellow peppers. And see, for those that say they don't like onions, if you chop them up really, really fine or put them in a processor, the person that don't like the onions will never know that it has onions in it. That's how I have to trick my mom to get her to eat things. Just cut the onions up or put them in the processor and let them be really fine. You can't even tell they're in there. But the onions gives it the flavor. That's why I do the onions. So I'm going to wet my hands first. Let's move this out of the way. Wet my hands first, and then I'm just going to take some of the mixture and put it in my hand, because that's about the only way I know to make a patty. See how well this sticks together? Look, isn't that nice? That's a little big. I think I'm going to make them a little smaller since I have to share today. Okay, so I'm just going to make a ball first, and then you can make your patties the size that you want them to be. I think that's a pretty good size. I think that would be like a medium patty. You just make a few of them, or as many as you want. I try to keep the sizes consistent, but you don't have to. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to it. You make them to how you like them to be. And I just like them to look pretty at the end, like at the end of what I'm doing. So I just continue to do that until all of my mixture is gone. And remember to wet your hands, because if not, then it will stick. Let me turn this around. It will stick to your hands. So I usually wet my hands at least a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. See how nice that patty look? And see how pretty the orange and red peppers look in there? Yes, so that's really nice. So I'm just going to continue to make my patties. Yes. See how easy this is? When I tell you this is a very easy recipe and they're delicious, you have to try them. I think this one is a little too big. They're almost like making your own burgers. Like when I make turkey burgers, because I try to stay away from regular hamburgers with the beef patties. So I make turkey burgers pretty much the same way. And then what I am going to do, see how nice those look? Look, can you see those? Woohoo! Makes you want to make some, right? Make them and let me know how yours come out. So now we're going to fry them up. I'm going to start with a little bit of extra light olive oil. Can you see that? Extra light olive oil. I like the extra light because I don't really like the taste of olive oil. So when it's light, you really don't get a whole lot of olive oil taste. So I'm going to pour enough of that in my Rachel Ray pan, of course. And I'm going to just swirl it around. Ooh, just have a little fun with it, kind of swirl it around. I am cooking this on medium-high heat. That's the olive oil, because I like mine kind of crispy. So I'm going to, and you have to be really careful with the patties because they will fall apart. You can flour them if you like to kind of keep them together. You hear that sizzle? Woohoo! That means my oil is ready to fry. I'm going to put all 4 of them in the pan. Kind of be careful with them, and you want them to cook before you start turning them. You want them to be ready to turn. So I'm going to put my last one in here. Kind of put them all in there together. And just let them fry. I like the sizzle. It smells so good. Then you just let them cook on the first side until they're almost done, actually, because if you turn them too early, they will fall apart on you. And that's not what you want, because that won't be cute. So we're just going to let this fry until they are done on this one side. And they really don't take that long to cook, because all you're trying to do is cook the raw eggs in it, because the canned salmon is really already done. And so the only raw ingredients you have in this are your egg whites. So you just have to make sure they're done. Just going to continue to let that cook. Well, fry. And I usually use 2 spatulas to turn them because I don't like mine to fall apart. So let's try one. Let's see. I'm going to turn the first one. Ooh, look how good that looks. Yes, make you wanna dance, 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 dance. When they come out good, I wanna dance. And when you wanna dance, you know for a fact that they came out really good. We're gonna turn this next one. And that one was not quite as ready as the first one. So I'm gonna let the other two kind of cook a little more to make sure they don't fall apart on me. But those look really good. I have this on, I guess it's medium heat. I have it on, it goes all the way up to 6 and I have it on like 4. So I think that's pretty good. Let's turn these other two to make sure they don't burn. Because I want to be able to dance, and if they burn, I won't dance, I might cry. Okay, let's try this again. Hold on. Be really careful so that they don't fall apart. Maybe I didn't need two. See, that one's pretty too. I'm gonna dance because they're all coming out really good. Okay, so let's try this last one. Uh-oh, there we go. It worked. It worked. Because you can't maneuver them or move them around too much, because you have to remember they are salmon, so they're kind of delicate. Delicate to the touch. Let's see what this one is looking like on the other side. The first one that we turned. Sometimes I have to use the 2 spatulas, sometimes I don't. So I'm going to see how easy that's moving around. So I kind of think it's ready to flip again. Woohoo! Yes. Make you want to dance, dance when they come out good. There we go. So I'm going to push them down a little. The fire seems to have slowed down a bit. But I'm going to stop turning them now and just let them fry up. See how good that's looking? When I tell you this is smelling so good, I'm not sure if I still want to share. Guess I will. But they are looking really, 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 really good. Just going to continue to let these cook. And let's try this one. Let me get my other spatula here before they burn up on one side, but I'll still eat them. So, and I have a lot of batter left. Those 2 cans made a lot of batter. I've never really made 2 cans because I usually only make them for a moi, but since other people are requesting them, I decided to be nice and share with my family and friends. Okay, so there we go. I think it's time to turn this down a little. They're kind of burning a little. We're going to flip this one again. Let's see. Yeah, I think most of the time you should have 2 spatulas on hand just in case you need them. Yes, that is looking delicious. I'm going to turn it down just a little. Kind of let them just simmer a little so I can continue to dance about my salmon patties looking really, 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 really good. If you try, or when you try this recipe, just let me know how your salmon patties turned out, because mine are looking great at this point. Okay, so I think that's it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Remember to share with your family and friends. Share the video and your patties with your family and friends, and this is what they turn out like. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you in my next video.